Hi everybody, and welcome to this episode of Noodle Journey where I'm going to be reviewing Ichiran Tonkotsu Ramen. Ichiran is a very popular and distinguished restaurant chain in Japan with some locations in the USA as well. They're famous for their tonkotsu broth. So this is a packaged version of their world-famous noodles and broth. They also make a variant on this called kamadare, but I don't have those to review yet. I was hesitant to review this one at all for a number of reasons. When I bought this from Amazon on a whim several months ago, it was $27, which sounds like a lot, but this is a 5-serving pack. So it's definitely expensive overall, but it's a smidge over $5 a serving for a premium imported product. A bowl of this in New York with all the fixings is $20, so $5 for the noodles and soup base is not unreasonable. And the serving size is good too. Since I ordered though, the price has gone all over the place, and that pretty much seems to be the norm for this product. In the span of a few months, it shot up to $60, down to $35, up to $50, and back down to $27. This all depends on which third-party seller has it in stock for the cheapest, of course, but that's what's been happening. At the time of this filming, it is $25 for this 5-pack, and I have not seen it go any lower than that on Amazon. So the price jumping is crazy, but with all the shipping and supply chain issues the world has gone through recently, it's not exactly surprising that an imported niche product would do that. However, I'm not about to recommend that you pay $60 for a 5-pack of these. That's insanity. I can't imagine any instant noodle pack being worth that much unless it actually comes with all the fixings you'd get at a restaurant. Another reason I was hesitant to review this is because, well, I got into this box well before I started this channel. There's 3 servings left in here, so I can't do an unboxing and show you the whole thing, and I guess the fact that I've killed 2 of these so far tells you that I like them. Spoiler for the review, I guess. Lastly, I've seen a lot of people who really know their ramen better than me say that even with the pedigree and premium price point, this stuff is inferior to some cheaper, easily obtainable tonkatsu varieties from brands like Marutai, Itsuki, and even Nongshim. So, spoiler again, I'm going to issue that as a caveat when I inevitably recommend these, since I have not tried any of those other brands yet. I've got some packs of those other ones that I'm going to review soon after this to see how they compare, and I may have to amend my opinions on Ichiran accordingly. I'm actually filming this one first for that very reason, to see how the supposed creme de la creme of premium tonkatsu compares to the rest. So, in the interest of full transparency, I am going to cook and review these for all of you to help you decide if you want to drop this much money on an instant noodle product. Also because I am currently hungry. Inside this package we have, or rather had, 5 individual servings of straight noodles, each with a liquid soup packet and a spice packet. So the spice packet is optional depending on your spice tolerance, so it's not necessary to enjoy the base flavor of the broth. I will be showing you the final product both with and then without the spice packet added to give you an informed opinion. The soup packet is a concentrated tonkatsu broth, meaning it contains pork fat, MSG, and various spices and preservatives. If you are averse to sodium, this might not be for you because assuming you use all of the soup base and spice packet, we are at 3,068 milligrams per serving, which is 133% of your daily allowance. I do not care about that, but maybe you do, so be warned. Let's cook. We're going to bring 450 milliliters of water to a boil. And we're going to add the noodles and the soup base. And cook this for only 2.5 minutes. And now it's time to eat. You can add the spice powder at this point, but like I said, I'm going to describe it as is first. I'm going to stir this up because as you can see, there's a lot of oil in here. And let's taste. So first off, there's no spice without the spice packet. So this is currently a 0 out of 10 on the spice scale. The noodles are really terrific. They're thin, but they retain a really nice chewiness after cooking, have a nice alkaline kick to them too. While I generally like my noodles a bit thicker than this, these fit the more delicate broth perfectly and are easily an 8 out of 10. And now the tonkatsu broth. This is my third pack of this overall, and every time I taste it, I am astounded by how much flavor is in this. The broth has a really great porky, soy, and garlic flavor, with a hint of ginger, a little bit of bonito and seaweed in there too. It's certainly salty, but the salt doesn't overwhelm the other flavors. I would say the most predominant flavor is probably onion, but it's really nice and it all comes together. The consistency of the broth is close to restaurant quality, but a little bit watery. It's still impressive to me. It's rich. You can see the oil floating around on top. Not as creamy as it could be, so, you know, we're going to dock a little for that. I don't have a lot of ramen restaurants in my area, but this instant product is actually better than one of the allegedly authentic ones I've been to. It's clear to me that Ichiran really cares about replicating a restaurant ramen experience at home with this. I've seen complaints that this is too watery, and I agree to that to some extent, but I still think this is a fine consistency for an instant noodle product. So now let's add the spice packet to talk about what that does. And yes, I'm dumping in the whole thing because why not? All right, we're going to make sure to stir this up real well. So you can see some of the red pepper flakes floating there in the broth. It's not a lot, it gets nicely diluted, but it's definitely there. So the spice is just a combination of red pepper and I believe black pepper. The ingredient list isn't very specific. Ichiran's official product description page says that the spice comes from carefully selected peppers around the world, but they don't really elaborate on the type. Adding the whole packet brings the spice level up to what I would call a comfortable 3 out of 10. It will certainly give your taste buds a tingle, and if you swallow it wrong, you're going to have a little bit of a coughing fit, but it's far from overpowering. It doesn't drastically alter the taste of the broth either, which is a good thing. There's actually a little extra earthiness and fruitiness from the peppers, and it's an overall excellent addition. I will tell you from past experience that if you do choose to add the spice packet, the powder does tend to settle on the bottom, so make sure you give this a good stir every once in a while if you aren't devouring this quickly, which you should be. I do like that the spice packet is separate because you can alter the spiciness of the dish to your taste. So now I have to grade this. I have to take into consideration the quality of these noodles versus the price. I'm going to give this product a 7.5 out of 10 overall, and an 8 out of 10 with the spice packet added, since I like spice, and the extra flavor from the peppers is really good. If these were cheaper than $25 for a 5-pack, which seems unlikely in this current global economy, I would probably give these a 9 out of 10, ever so close to a perfect score. If you're curious, a perfect 10 out of 10 instant tonkatsu for me at this point would probably be this broth, a little thicker, maybe a dried garnish packet, and of course a cheaper overall package. Maybe that combo was out there in Noodle Land waiting for me, we'll see. So overall, how much I recommend you buy this comes down to price. If you're comfortable paying the asking price for these and you love tonkatsu ramen, this is a no-brainer in my opinion, despite what some of the Ichiran detractors online might say. If the price is too rich for you to justify, I am going to be taking a look at some cheaper alternatives to this in the near future. Bear in mind that you will obviously want to add some stuff to this if you're looking to mimic a restaurant meal. I would recommend any combination of pork, marinated egg, fish cake, scallions, mushrooms, or seaweed. And of course consider that those add-ins also add to the cost per serving of this. But if you're looking to treat yourself, by all means buy a box of these while they're still relatively affordable and available. This is still a great bowl of soup on its own. That's all for this review. If you can recommend an instant tonkatsu product that beats Ichiran on both price and taste, I would love to read your comments, because this for me is about as impressive as a packaged tonkatsu can get. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next step of this noodle journey.